The IELTS writing test can seem challenging at first. It is designed to assess your ability to write in English in different situations. The entire test lasts for 60 minutes. You will need to complete 2 separate writing tasks during this time. It is very important to manage your time well between these 2 parts. Task 2 is worth more marks than Task 1, so you should spend about 40 minutes on it. This leaves you with about 20 minutes to complete Task 1. Understanding this structure is the very first step towards preparing effectively and achieving a good score on the day of your examination. There are 2 different versions of the IELTS test: academic and general training. Your choice depends on why you are taking the test. The writing section is different for each version. Specifically, Task 1 changes, but Task 2 remains the same for both. If you're taking the academic module, you will need to describe some form of visual information. This could be a graph, table, chart, or diagram. If you're taking the general training module, your Task 1 will be to write a letter for a specific purpose, such as making a request or an apology. Task 2, which is the same for both academic and general training candidates, requires you to write an essay. You will be given a point of view, an argument, or a problem to discuss. The essay needs to be at least 250 words long. This task tests your ability to present a well-organized argument, provide evidence and examples, and use a range of vocabulary and grammatical structures correctly. Because it contributes more to your final writing band score, it is crucial to dedicate sufficient time and effort to developing your essay writing skills for this part of the test. Understanding the differences between the tasks is key. Task 1 is a more descriptive or functional piece of writing. For the academic module, you must report the main features of a visual without giving your opinion. For the general training module, your letter must have the correct tone and format for its purpose. Task 2, however, is all about your ability to develop and express your ideas clearly and logically. Recognizing these distinct requirements will help you to focus your preparation. You can then practice the specific skills needed for each task to improve your performance. Before you start tackling specific IELTS tasks, it is essential to build a strong foundation in English writing. This begins with focusing on the basics of grammar and vocabulary. You should review fundamental grammar rules such as verb tenses, sentence structure, and the correct use of punctuation. At the same time, work on expanding your vocabulary. Instead of just learning single words, try to learn words in context and understand how they are used with other words. A strong command of these core elements will make it much easier to express your ideas clearly and accurately when you start practicing for the test. To improve your writing, you must practice regularly. Start by writing about simple topics that you are familiar with. This could be about your daily routine, your hobbies, or your opinion on a recent news story. The goal at this stage is not to write a perfect IELTS response, but to get comfortable with expressing yourself in written English. This regular practice helps to build your confidence. It also allows you to identify areas where you might be making common mistakes. Try to develop a clear and simple writing style that is easy for the examiner to read and understand. Getting feedback on your writing is incredibly important for improvement. If possible, ask a teacher or an experienced English speaker to review your work. They can point out errors in grammar and vocabulary that you might not notice yourself. They can also give you advice on how to make your writing more coherent and organized. If you do not have access to a teacher, you can join online writing communities or find a study partner. Sharing your writing and reading the work of others is a great way to learn and grow as a writer. As you become more confident, you can start using official IELTS sample questions. These are available in Cambridge IELTS books and on official websites. Using real questions ensures that you are practicing with the correct type of tasks. When you first start, do not worry about the time limit. Instead, focus on understanding the question, planning your response, and writing a well-structured answer. Analyze the sample answers that are often provided. Look at how they are organized and the language they use. This will give you a clear model to follow. For academic task 1, your goal is to describe visual information clearly. You need to write a summary of at least 150 words. First, carefully analyze the graph, chart, or diagram. Identify the main trends, key features, and any significant points of comparison. Do not try to describe every single detail. Instead, select the most important information and present it logically. You should start with an introductory sentence that paraphrases the question. Then write 1 or 2 paragraphs detailing the key features and an overview or conclusion that summarizes the main trend. Practice using specific vocabulary for describing data such as increase, decrease, and fluctuate. If you are taking the general training module, Task 1 requires you to write a letter. The question will tell you who to write to and why. The letter could be formal, semi-formal, or informal, so it is vital to use the correct tone and language. For a formal letter, such as a complaint to a company, use formal greetings and closings. For an informal letter to a friend, you can use more relaxed language. Make sure you address all the points mentioned in the question. Plan your letter with a clear opening, body paragraphs for each point, and a suitable closing. For Task 2, a well-structured essay is essential for a high score. You must write at least 250 words. A good approach is to use a clear 4 or 5 paragraph structure. Start with an introduction that paraphrases the question and states your main idea or position. Then write 2 or 3 body paragraphs. Each body paragraph should present a single main idea, explain it, and support it with examples or evidence. Finally, write a conclusion that summarizes your main points and restates your position. This clear organization makes your argument easy for the examiner to follow. Improving coherence and cohesion is vital for both tasks. This means connecting your ideas logically. Use linking words and phrases to guide the reader through your writing. Words like however, in addition, and as a result can show the relationship between your sentences and paragraphs. Another technique is to use pronouns and synonyms to avoid repeating the same words too often. A well-connected piece of writing flows smoothly and is much more effective. Practice using these devices so they become a natural part of your writing style. To prepare for the real test conditions, it is crucial to practice with a timer. The IELTS writing test has a strict 60-minute time limit. You need to be able to plan, write, and review both tasks within this period. A good strategy is to spend 20 minutes on Task 1 and 40 minutes on Task 2. When you practice, set a timer and stick to these timings. This will help you get used to the pressure of writing against the clock. It will also teach you to manage your time effectively, ensuring you have enough time to complete the more heavily weighted Task 2. Simulating test conditions is also very beneficial. Find a quiet place where you will not be disturbed. Put away your phone and any other distractions. Use only a pen or pencil and paper, just as you would in the paper-based test. If you are taking the computer-delivered test, practice typing your responses. This kind of focused practice helps you build the mental stamina needed for the test day. It makes the real experience feel more familiar and less stressful, allowing you to perform at your best when it truly matters. There are many excellent online resources available to help you prepare. Websites like the official IELTS site offer free practice materials and tips. You can also find online courses that provide structured lessons and feedback from experienced tutors. Joining an online writing community or forum can be very helpful. In these groups, you can share your essays, get feedback from other learners, and learn from their experiences. Using a variety of resources will give you a broader understanding of what is required and expose you to different strategies for success. Finally, remember that consistent practice is the key to improving your IELTS writing score. Do not wait until the last minute to start preparing. Create a study plan and stick to it by breaking down the preparation into manageable steps, building your skills, learning task strategies, and practicing under time conditions. You can approach the test with confidence. Every essay you write and every piece of feedback you receive is a step towards your goal. Stay motivated, believe in your ability to improve, and you will be well prepared to achieve the result you need.